what does toughness mean in the world of being a professional model? Like some people would be like, how is that even tough? Like what's toughness look like in that world?
Honestly, just the same way it is in sports, there's a mental toughness component that is always added to this industry and in life. There's a physicality toughness where you're lifting weights, you're preparing your body physically to endure something. Same thing in life and in career. There's a mental aspect to it. So in modeling, especially, the mental aspect is the hardest thing outside of the physical aspect because you have to be in shape. You have to they're not just casting guys just to okay, looks okay. Like they want guys cut, they want guys in shape. So there's two sides to it. For me, the mental aspect of it was the hardest part, was because it was trying to understand my self-worth and understand where I could fit into an industry that was not accepting of me and that did not want anybody that looks like me, acts like me, or talks like me. But they wanted it to a very small degree. So trying to fit, it's trying to fit a basketball into a damn freaking, like almost like not even a basketball. I said it's almost trying to fit a circle into a square, basically.
Right.
You just don't fit in. So I really had to hone in on having to find my self-confidence in terms of being mentally ready to endure what these people are about to tell me. And going to these casting offices at that time, it was very blunt. Like, hey, we already have a black boy booked on this shoot. Please come again some other time. Or I'd go into agencies and they'd be like, hey, we already have a black boy signed. We really won't have use for you. Thank you for coming. They will literally tell you this to your face back there. So imagine you're going into you're in your realm, Patty. Imagine you're going somewhere where you're just trying to look for a new opportunity. And they say, well, we already kind of have somebody that looks like you, talks like you, and is in your profession. We don't find use of you here. I don't really think you'll find use of anywhere here. You should try somewhere else, because that's another thing that I got. Oh, you won't find what you're looking for here in LA. You should probably go to South Africa. Or you should probably go down to this place. We don't want you here. That's how blunt it was. So for me being new in the industry and understanding that, hey, I was in the gym, getting my body right, looking the very best I possibly could. There was another component that I completely wasn't familiar with, and that was the mental battle of having to block out the bullshit and having to block out these words and put love back into myself.
Wow, that's an incredible, hard to imagine experience for anyone who hasn't faced it to that degree. And I want to try and put some numbers or some crystallize what you're talking about. Firstly, I want to bookmark, tag let's come back to what it means to put love back into yourself. Okay?
Yeah.
I want to, if I forget it, tell me about it. But right now, while we're still on that story and on that journey of discovery almost for you, of that's actually what toughness means here. It's not just physically preparing, which we'll also put numbers on. But how many times were you rejected in that way where it was I imagine that if I went and tried modeling and I would be unsuccessful, but there would be some responses where you're not what we're looking for, but not as specific as you're 6'6" and white. We already have one of them, right? How many times, estimate, did you hear those words of, we already have a black guy, see you later?
Over 30 in the beginning of because I've sent emails to certain agencies and I've sent emails to certain managers and I've certain clients, because at that time I was freelancing before I got represented. So I was just reaching out as Broderick Hunter to these people. And a large part of the responses were, oh, we're already using a black guy. Oh, we already have a black guy on our board. Oh, sorry, this isn't really your market. So yeah, I would say it was at least 30, because you can imagine how many emails I sent.
Of course, yeah. And this is 30 in the space of how long?
And these are just responses. We're not even counting we're not even counting
They were polite enough to come back and tell you to your face something.
So they were polite enough to come back and tell me that. They could have just said, oh, thank you, but we're not interested. Right. But no, they had to give me the whole spiel of that. And that was, I wish I had my old email address.
What's this period? Yeah.
I wish I had my old email.
What's this period of time that we're talking about? 30 times in how long?
30 times in a matter of 8 to 9 months.
So this has happened. And like you said, this is just the flat out race-based rejections versus the other rejections and the non-replies, right? So there's a tidal wave of no's. And at what point during all of this are you like, no, I'm going to keep doing this? But how do you stomach that and just keep going when you don't have to?
The thing about it is, Patty, when I was in basketball, there's a certain level of mental toughness that comes to playing sports, especially when you're not on a winning team or not in favor of winning a championship and stuff like that. There's always going to be critics that are going to tell you, yeah, this team isn't really equipped to handle these people, or this team can't do this, or this player can't handle this player. And every single time when I stepped on a court, I was always out to prove anybody and everybody wrong. So going into my fashion career, I was always persevered that there's never a point in time where somebody can tell me something that I don't know about myself, and that nobody could tell me something that they see the potential in me, or they see something in me that I don't see in myself. So if somebody could tell me, oh, you don't have a look, you can't do this. But I know within myself, I'm like, oh, I think I got something here. I'm just going to keep on, just kind of figure it out, because I was just trying to figure it out. I didn't have access to the right photographers yet, nor did I have access to agents and trying to, I was still learning. So there was no reason for me to DQ myself so early if I knew that I was still in my premature stages of learning this industry. So once I figured it out, once I knew I was going to figure it out, I knew it was going to be a done deal. It was just a matter of time.